Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So SketchUp isn't exactly known for organic modeling. However, Artisan 2 can help change that. In this video, I'll show you how to model a sleek, curvy faucet step by step inside of SketchUp. Let's dive in. As always, let's start off by importing our reference image, and then we obviously have to scale this down. So I'm going to explode, group, and then I'll use the line tool to bring in a reference line, and I'll use the tape measuring tool to scale it to that size, so 6.5 inches, and confirm to scale this down. Now, part of this tutorial is going to be modeling the base shape and then checking in with Artisan Smooth to see if it matches up to our faucet. So first thing we're going to do is let's just bring down the opacity. So we're going to start with a rectangle at this midpoint. So we're going to start with the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle at this midpoint. Let's just make it 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, nice even number, and we end up with something like this. So from here, I'm actually going to activate Artisan mode. This is going to allow me to use these transformation tools along with the Artisan subdivision tools. Now from here, we're going to push-pull this up 1.5 inches, and we'll continue to push-pull until we have this rough shape. Keep in mind, I'm also setting a distance of 1.5 inches, and the tool creates a new face each time I set a custom dimension. So this is going to be our base shape for now, and every time we reach a new level of detail, we're going to smooth the shape and see how close we are to our reference image. So I'm going to add a couple of edge loop along my base shape. As you can see, it helps maintain our quad-based geometry, and it will give us more control when we try to reshape our base model. After adding a few edge loops, we'll end up with something like this. So now we're going to move a couple of vertices to create that curve right here. So let's go back to our shape. Keep in mind, this is also very low poly modeling. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to move the edges at a perfect place. So here I'm using the Artisan transform tools in Artisan mode to try and get my low poly base model as close to the reference image. So this is our new base shape. So now let's check smooth version, and this is what we get. So we are somewhere along the right track as we got this slope quite perfectly. So now the next step is to angle this top part of the sink as well as this portion. So we're going to start right here. Once again, we'll go back to Artisan mode and we'll select that edge. And with the move tool, we'll just move that slightly in. As for the entire top portion, let's select and we will rotate from the midpoint and we'll try to match the angle in the reference. Let's just adjust this and move this up a little more. As you can see, anytime you move things around, there will always be minor adjustments to make. So I'm just going to fix a couple of these edges, move them back into place. So let's check our result again, and I'll say we're getting pretty close. Let's move on. So next we have this flat portion of the faucet, right? This flat portion that goes on the underside and also happening at the very top. So what we're going to do is make a selection of all of those faces, this, and we're going to use the inset tool, which is the Artisan version of offset, to offset those in maybe just 1/8 of an inch. And we'll repeat the same at the very top. Make a selection, use inset, and offset that in. Now, if we take a look at our results, we'll end up with something like this. And I want this to be a little bit more straight as if it connects to whatever base we're going to create here. So I'm going to undo. We're going to set this to parallel projection, and we're going to use the knife tool to add another loop cut at this very bottom. we're going to hold Alt so it cuts through the back face. That'll be one. And second, we're going to inset this bottom face so we have something like this. And now when we activate smooth, this feels a little bit better than it did before. So next we're going to group this so we can have a bit of a separation. Now we're going to work on this on the circle shape, which is very easy to do. So I'm going to activate the rectangle and press Ctrl so that it to draw from the center. We're going to make this 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Going to reverse faces and activate push pull and bring this down maybe half an inch. So to simply solve this, we're going to inset the top and bottom faces. So when we run smooth again, you can see that it becomes the perfect round circle. So for now, we're going to leave it like that. So we're going to leave it like this for now. That is done. All right, so now we can start to add some more detail like the aerator. We'll go into our group and it's going to be right here. It's a very simple detail to add. We're going to inset this part in. I'm going to push pull by 3/4 inch. And we'll actually do the same here. And because I want this to be a little bit closer to the end, I'm going to add a loop cut right around here. I'm going to inset this in and also push pull this face in. So we have something like this. And that's what that looks like. If we want this to have a more sharper turn, of course, you can just select, press inset again, like that. We can actually do the same here as well. We check our results, and there was something like this. So not too bad. Now to add the actual aerator, because it fits exactly into the spot, we're just going to copy parts of this and paste in place into our group. So I'm actually going to clean this up and I'll show you how I'm going to do this. We just need this part to go to the outside. I'm going to select these edges, Shift F to make a face with Aerator Face Creator. Then we're going to inset this in to create a bit of separation. And we're going to push pull this out. And because we already know what insetting these inner faces can do, we're going to repeat inset on these outside faces. That, and then we'll do inset here again. And we'll push and pull this in once more. So we end up with something like this. In fact, we're going to repeat the inset here as well. Once again, this is a perfect example of how Subdivide in Smooth works. We have a low poly quad shape here, and then when we smooth, we end up with this high quality subdivided shape. I'm going to group this, and I'm going to move this. We're actually going to get rid of this, so it will look something like that. And we're going to repeat the same here with the adjusting ring, following the same workflow. When we smooth, it will end up like this, which will fit exactly into the spot. We'll end up with something like that. Now, before we start with the handle, I'm going to add a little bit of detail here. Just going to inset this part in, so we can end up with something like this. So now we can move on and model the low poly shape for our handle. Let's copy and paste in place this face as our starting point. And now we're going to push pull until we have our ideal shape. Now, obviously, this isn't going to give us the result that we want. As you can see, when I smooth this entire shape, this is what I get. So to fine tune the curves and the round corners, I'm going to use the loop tool and add a couple of more loop cuts into the shape, especially around the 90-degree corners. And now when we smooth again, we have a much better result. So now all that is left is to smooth each one of these shapes to get our final results. And you can do this in a couple of ways. I'll go inside my handle shape and I can just smooth this directly. As well, I can do this outside of the group and select my shape, activate smooth. I get these extra subdivision settings where I can increase the iteration and see different display settings. And then we can commit. And hopefully you can see that to model a complex shape like this, all you have to do is break it down into simple pieces, focus on one at a time with the help of a couple advanced extensions like Artisan 2. And you can create advanced models like this. As always, the link for Artisan 2 will be in the description. And once we smooth all of our shapes, this is our final result. Definitely not too bad. Hopefully you can see that for a complex shape like this, all you have to do is break it down and model each individual shape at a time. And you can see that even the most complex shape can be modeled in SketchUp with the help of Artisan. And that's going to be all for this video. Hopefully you followed all of those steps and you can see that even a complex shape can become very simple with Artisan. And if you want to see another video where we model a full furniture with Artisan 2, don't forget to check this video right here. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.